1619. See, Counselor, your appearance for the record.
Yes, good morning. Elizabeth Flemming, bond number 12964. I'm co-counsel with Eric Farrahan. He had conflict, so he will not be present today. However, plaintiff is present, and then Mr. Farrahan's paralegal, Karen Perez, is present.
I'm sorry, what was your last name again?
Flemming?
Flemming?
Yes.
Okay. And Counselor, your appearance for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Patricia Marr, bar number 8846. I'm appearing on behalf of the defendant. He was present. He is seated to my left.
And then who else did you have?
With me from my office is our intern, Camille.
Okay, I just want to be sure she was with you.
Yes.
Okay. All right, you guys
Thank
just sit down. So I did read what we have filed before us, and this is really on Dad's motion for permission to relocate out of the state. It looks like Dad has a job opportunity there in Austin, Texas. He's proposing that the court temporarily grant his request to relocate with a minor child and thereafter set an evidentiary hearing. He has a proposal for visitation. It looks like 1 week a month. It sounds like he would pick up the cost. I just wasn't sure, counsel, is he saying he would pick up the cost of his ticket or his and the child's ticket, or what portion of the cost?
Okay. If he's employed, which he will be,
Right.
he'll bear the cost of all the airfare.
So the anticipation would be that Dad would fly back with the child and then remain here, or how would it happen?
He'll fly back to work because he will be employed, and then he'll fly back to pick her up.
Come back and get her?
Yes.
Okay, so that, and then 1 week visitation a month, is that what the suggestion was?
That's what we proposed.
Because she's not in school yet, right?
No, but Dad wants as liberal visitation as
Okay.
possible because he recognizes, particularly in today's society, these children, they need both parents in their lives.
She's 4, right
Yes.
now? Almost 5?
Almost 5.
Okay. So, and then counsel, in terms of the employment opportunity he has there, is that a sure thing?
Yes,
Yes?
It is.
Okay.
it is.
And is there, and you don't have to whisper, you can talk if you want to talk, but is there a definite date by which you're supposed to be starting now?
Yeah, he's requiring that I get there before the end of the month because the
Okay.
swimming pool season is cyclical. It's kind of
Yeah.
the harvest time right now.
So you have a few days, I guess, right, to get there?
We have it coordinated, but we haven't done anything
Yeah.
until we get past this hearing.
Everything's set to take
Right.
place. It depends on this court's decision.
And then it looked like is it a friend that you were planning on staying there with and his family?
Yes, it's
Temporarily?
yeah, for
Yeah.
probably about a week because we do have a home that is available.
Okay.
But during that, if we would use UPAC, I don't know if you know how that works, but they ship everything. you know,
Yeah.
So it'd probably be about a week.
So you found a house to rent and all that?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and I did see the exhibits you attached and the evidence that you cited, right, just regarding the difference between Las Vegas education there in Austin, particular area in which you reside in North Las Vegas versus the area I think is called Round something. Was it
Round Rock specifically. Yeah. But it's
What was
part
it?
of Austin.
What was the
Round Rock?
Round Rock? That's what it was. Round Rock. Okay.
Yeah, it's part of Austin. I can't understand.
Okay. And then counsel, I know your client is opposing it and you are actually suggesting a modification in the custody. Is that what your argument is?
Well, it's more if in the event that the defendant wants to relocate, regardless of whether it's with the minor child, we're just saying that we believe that the de facto situation would be that the child would remain here if the relocation wasn't granted. We obviously do have other pleadings pending before the court that deal with reconsideration of prior requests, and I'm not going to confuse the issues here today. But just briefly on our concerns, we obviously are glad that the defendant has got a job. He's been unemployed for quite a significant period of time, but he's only provided one letter from one employer stating that he was not able to get a job with this one company. And I mean, I get that he's got a preferred job in Texas, but he's shown no efforts that over the last 2 years, I haven't been able to get a single job in Nevada. I mean, I think that's kind of one huge missing component of what's going on here. And given kind of the high conflict nature of the case, I mean, unfortunately, there seems to be parents who like to try to attempt to get away out of state because it helps, the distance in their mind helps, separate them from the conflict. ultimately that may be something that we'll have to argue at trial. And thankfully, given the fact that the minor child is not in school, it won't be a case where she's extremely settled if there happens to be a temporary relocation granted. I don't think that's a favored remedy in these cases, but I do think 1 week a month it could be longer given the fact that the child's not in school. I'm not sure what dad's plan would be for childcare during the week since he will be working full time. Is she gonna be put with a third party, a stranger that she doesn't know versus where she could be with mom? I mean, I guess there's just a lot of kind of questions still that we have about how that would work.
So what's going on with your client and the child support? Has she paid child support? She's significantly behind in child support. What's going on there?
I'm being punished by child support and it's being taken from my job as I'm current.
She's
It's at the DA's office and I'm
So I know
getting
she has a garnishment. I know you guys are going through your R case at the DA's office. So
and
is
it's taking out arrears and it's my last payment was in March.
Okay.
So I'm current. Child support is taking out payments
right from your check, right?
from my employer.
It's
So
garnished.
it's automatically.
because
that's
you're
okay.
W-2, correct? So it's not like inconsistent. Like,
No.
Okay, so garnishes are consistent.
And then, counsel, your client has a conviction for domestic violence?
Yes,
Well, it dropped down to provision.
okay, so there was a charge originally, but that was not what the case ended up resulting in. I know that was something that was addressed within the original custody trial that resulted in the defendant getting terminated.
Sure. But I just wanted to clarify, so it sounded like she pled guilty on or about, was it 2021, does that sound accurate? September 2021 for 3 acts of domestic violence? It was appealed by the forum.
No, it was a singular one, and they're saying that it was not, the charge was not actually, what was pled to was not a domestic violence
It was
charge.
a
Yeah, it was a lesser charge.
It was proportion,
Okay.
I believe.
I apologize. I didn't-
No, that's okay. Since I'm new to the case, I just wanted to be sure I had all the information. And counsel, was there anything that you wanted to say just in response to
Yes.
the concerns they just
Yes.
brought up?
Absolutely, Your Honor. First and foremost, she is in arrears. She has about $15,000 in child support arrears. Currently, she's not making payments because she's on leave from her employment. That's what my client has been informed by the DA's office. I have copies of those for counsel and judge. He just received it, that's why it wasn't
Okay.
part of our reply. Just received that, and the mailing page is actually on the back of this packet.
Okay.
But not only is she on leave, but he's been her primary caregiver. This has been, I don't know, it's all spelled out. It's all laid out in his motion, Your Honor. But he's certainly, he recognizes the need to have mom, even though she hasn't been financially supporting. He recognizes that's separate, that's apples and oranges, but there is a good basis for that. He designs schools, there's a moratorium. I won't get into all
No,
that.
I fully understand. I am going to grant Dad permission to relocate. This is obviously temporary pending our ability to cite you guys for evidentiary hearing. Unfortunately, we just don't have time to do it today, otherwise I would. But we need to get that done. I know we have other things. We have return from the custody evaluation, but it looked like maybe that hadn't taken place yet, or does anyone know?
If I could, because unfortunately, Attorney Marr was on the case and she's been on the case, she's been in unbundled capacity previously, so she's missed some of the communications with Dr. Bergquist. She said she needs until July to finish the custody evaluation, but that is, again, something that was addressed before this motion for it to relocate or manifested itself. So that has to do with,
So she told you that she needs until July?
yes, based upon her current caseload. And again, I'm really not trying to convolute the issues, but so I would ask that that April 23rd date for the evaluation check be vacated at this point, because it doesn't make sense to have it. And our hearing and our other is not till May 14th, I believe. So I don't know if Your Honor, because we did submit an OST request to maybe perhaps
Yeah,
set
you
this
submitted
aside.
that on Friday, and I'm not gonna speed read and try to, make an informed decision on a motion for reconsideration, so.
Oh, no, I
And I
apologize,
don't
but I
see a
don't think it,
basis to escalate that to an order shortening time.
well, actually, I don't think it was filed last Friday, and I'm not trying to argue with Your Honor, I would not have submitted it.
It was filed quite recently, your request for order shortening time.
Oh, I know, I did try to
Yeah.
work it out with defense counsel who refused to do so before I entered.
Yeah, so I don't see a basis to set that on order shortening time.
Okay.
So, in terms of what you all want to do for your pending motion and the evidentiary, do you have an idea of what you need to do first, or do you want to do them simultaneously, or what's your preference?
Well, I personally, from our side, think that the child custody evaluation would need to be part and parcel of the relocation evidentiary hearing. So regardless of whether you grant the motion for reconsideration, the child custody evaluation was set by the prior court without an evidentiary hearing. That was kind of part of the reason we filed it, just seemed kind of a conditional request. So if we're moving forward with the child custody evaluation, I think that should be, that the trial for the relocation should be set once that.
Yeah, my only concern is, you guys are gonna get in a situation where she has to go to school, obviously, right? So I don't wanna hold up her ability to attend school, so if the hearing is, it'll be set, we can certainly set it after the July date on which you're, hopefully we'll have that custody evaluation, but just so you know, she likely will have to start school, right? Which is going to impact the week visit that defendant is proposing, because she won't be able to do that because she'll be in school. So we'll just have to come up with some other parameters, but let me just go through the shorts factors really quick. This is just a temporary order until we can get you guys in for the full evidentiary hearing. And as counsel said, we do want to be able to see that custody evaluation, because that will give us some more information and some more insight into what's really going on here. But pursuant to Schwartz, we need to look to sensible good faith reasons. Certainly we do have that. Dad has a job. Fortunately, he doesn't have a job here, but it sounds like, and that one pays, what does that one pay again, the one you're going to?
80 to 100,000.
Okay, so a good paying job for that. We also need to look to, are his intentions honorable? Yes, they are honorable. It does appear he's doing this because he wants to have a job. I did read through some of the case. It looks like the last order from your prior judge was a little bit concerned about, sir, about your ability to maintain communication with mom in terms of joint legal custody decisions. So just be really, really sure that you're doing that moving forward, because it's going to be more challenging because you're going to be in different states. But she needs to know, is she going to the doctor? I don't know if she had her immunizations or if that was an issue. Has she had her immunizations? If she's going to school, she's going to preschool, who's taking care of her during the day? Mom needs to know all of that stuff. So just, you need to really be careful that you're being a better communicator, because she needs to know what's going on with her daughter.
Absolutely understood, Your Honor. And if you need me to comment on that, I'm happy to do so.
You don't have to comment on it. I just wanted to be sure for purposes of the order that, we're clear and that you're clear, and that's something that you need to do, okay? And we're looking at the extent to which the move will likely improve her quality of life. Again, this is a temporary move, but it looks like she obviously, when someone doesn't have a job, it's stressful for the whole family, right? So I would think that overall it's going to decrease the stress for the whole family, so therefore it will decrease her stress, although she's a little kid, hopefully she's not feeling too much stress. She'll have the ability to do extracurriculars because dad actually will have money to be able to pay for that. And then I think you said your job comes with health insurance, right?
This particular offer, I'll have to pay for it on my own, but I'll be able to afford it because of the income.
What does she have right now for health insurance?
We don't know because she's on leave, and according to her job, she's been on leave since January 29th, and that's why we haven't received any child support, so I don't know that they're actually paying for any insurance right now.
Counsel, do you know, is your client paying for her health insurance for the minor child's?
No. Yeah, I still have health insurance.
Okay. Yeah, there has been some disagreement over who was supposed to be covering it, because I do believe it was decided she picked it up, but you're currently covering it.
I've been covering it for years, since the last order when he was supposed to.
But will it be available to her out of state? Like, is it something that would?
Will it be available? I will have to call to see.
Well, so we are giving you the luxury of being able to take your child out of state with you. I am going to direct that you do provide health insurance for her, because I do think it may be challenging for whatever coverage mom has to also apply there in Texas, because I'm sure it may be provider specific. So let's just be
Absolutely,
sure you
Your
get her
Honor.
health
Would
insurance.
it be okay if we find it, because we've had some disagreements on this in the past, but my wife is employed with AAA, and she has a really good policy there. If it happens to be better than what I can buy for myself, is it okay that our minor child goes on to my spouse's policy?
I would not see any problem with that. We just want to be sure she has insurance,
Okay.
right? And obviously, the more cost effective it is, the better for everybody, because then she'll have more money for other things. Also looking at the fact that dad has a job offer that's in writing, right? And it's confirmed. So, and he is indicating that he will comply with all of the court orders. It looked like there was a little bit of concern in the past about that. However, it looks like he has been, largely compliant thus far. Please continue to do so, obviously. He's already come up with a plan for mom to be able to have ample parent time with his child, so that also bodes well, sir. That's also in your favor in allowing this temporary relocation. Again, he did note that this does appear to be honorable. There was some mention in there, and it just seemed like it wasn't really that relevant, but something about the tax credits. So is mom claiming the child on taxes versus
Yes.
dad? And then I think mom was ordered to refund you for the,
On November 1 last year.
and that never happened? So
She's
do you-
ordered it completed.
And I know that's a side issue, but do you know what's going on with that?
No, and I would really, again, and not to direct the court's questions, but I would like to address that as part of our other motions. I think that that's tangled in. I really wasn't prepared to get into the complexity of the tax and the.
Well, at any rate, that's still an issue and has not yet been
Yes,
resolved.
no, I think that's
Okay.
correct. And can I-
Okay,
can I
so
ask one-
again, looking at the ability for mom to continue to have a relationship with her daughter, which is one of the things we have to look at. I do think Dad's proposal sounds reasonable and sounds quite generous, and the fact that he is going to be paying for the travel for her to and from, and be sure she obviously has an adult with her as she travels, because she's a little kid. The other factors that we are to look at: enhancement of positive family care and support. He has extended family in the area and friends in the area. He's actually living with a friend until he can get into the home that he's been looking up. Improve housing and conditions. He says the yards there are bigger, there's less crime. Round Rock is on a safer list than North Las Vegas is. Education, looks like the quality of education in the area is quite good. Better employment and health care, obviously we've already discussed that. Better resources for her. She doesn't have any special needs, so that's really a non-issue here. We don't really know what her opinion is because she's real little, so she's not able to tell us what her opinion is. But so on that temporary basis, I am going to grant the order. So in terms of which week you are proposing, is there a certain week out of the month you're proposing for her to be back here with mom? And mom, do you have any request in that regard? Is there a certain week of the month that's better for you?
May I address the court?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
The week, she requested a week of vacation, or I think about, it ends up being about 6 days, but it's 4 days of vacation time for the middle of April. I can't remember the dates, I can look on my calendar, but I think it's April 14th or something on that week.
So she's already requested that?
Yeah, and so we just make that the
Sure.
week.
So are you saying it starts on April 14th? Because that's looks like that's a Sunday.
I apologize,
No,
can I
that's
look on my
okay.
calendar?
Do you know?
Well, I don't, but she's getting upset because she gets about 8 days of visitation a month, and then this request for like vacation or summer vacation is outside of what she would have already been getting, so she feels as if her time that would have been given to her as vacation is now being crunched into what her visitation time would have also been. So I do believe that she should also be awarded her vacation time plus her regular custodial time within these interim months, if that.
So you were anticipating kind of a spring break thing with her, or what was it, Mom?
Well, just
The prior judge, actually, the days that we're talking about for April, the prior judge had gave us, back last year, gave us 4 vacation days. Like last month, I asked Mr. hey, I wanted to use some time just to hang out with our daughter, and I just put the time that was already given to me in. So those are my regular vacation days that the court gave us additional when we filed our motions before last year.
So maybe we
That's
could
true.
combine
Sure,
her.
that's fine.
I agree with that.
That makes sense. So, do you just remember what days it was though? Was it, when did you start? Was it April 14th you were having?
The days that I requested,
Yeah. Do you remember what days in April?
I have to, I'm not
I
really
have
That's
it wrong
okay.
if I may.
Sure.
Because we did it in the co-parenting app, it can be verified.
sure.
From Sunday, the
The 14th.
14th, until I would pick her up the 18th at 6 o'clock,
Okay.
which
So,
works with Dawn's house schedule too.
sure.
Oh, and here's another,
So,
are you doing this with how,
just a minute. So, I don't want to deprive Mom of something that she was already counting on, just because,
Sure.
and I know this is a good opportunity for you, but because you need to relocate for your family. But I am gonna add on there that mom will have a weekend edition, okay? So it would be, mom, it will start Sunday, April 14th, and you said that, and we'll have to address where we're gonna do the exchange at. And then it would conclude that following weekend then, which would be, so you were gonna have her 4 days then, so we're gonna add on. And so I assume for you, travel on the weekend's going to be better, or is it not? Because the pool business is probably kind of all week long.
It is, it's, I pick my own schedule, so I'm
Yeah.
sure as long as I have ample notice, I can probably work it out with my clients that I pick up.
Okay. Because it looks like it would fall around the 25th if we're going to add on an additional 7 days to the conclusion of the 18th. So it would be around the 25th. That's a Thursday.
Tickets are cheaper on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
So that's better anyway?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be your first chunk of time, and that's actually like almost a full 2-week period of time for you, because we're adding in those 4 days there. And then you guys are doing the exchange at Donna's house, I think, right? Is that going to be problematic when you're flying in and out, or what would the preference be?
Yeah, I just,
Sure.
yeah, that's pretty secure. I mean, just a handoff at the gate, I think is the normal.
Well, I don't think they let you go.
Yeah, I think maybe outside of baggage
Tuesday.
claim
Baggage claim, okay,
would
yeah,
be
first
better.
time.
There's a lot of people there.
Yeah. Council, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there are some restrictions as far as days and times, and that may cause additional complications. So him actually having to leave the airport, and I mean, it would all be dependent on whether you could get flights that would accommodate Donna's house's schedule. And
Yeah,
then-
so I mean, are you okay with the exchange at the airport then, so you guys,
Yes,
because I feel like that's
yes.
extra
Yes.
travel you don't need to do, right? Is there a certain part of the airport you guys are more comfortable with?
Maybe baggage claim.
There's different baggage claim sections.
That's right.
It probably depends on what airline you're,
Would the airport require?
Well, I don't know if the intent is for him to, because you know, there's that place where you come out to the airport and then you can't exit any further, and like, maybe my client could be waiting on the other side.
Yeah.
Well, then, but that's outside the garage. I don't think that- There's an exit where, you know, there's a TSA agent sitting where you can no
Yeah.
longer
Oh,
come back to the
okay.
airport. So he could let go through, and he
are
would
we
even
staying,
have.
are we staying first floor, is it on the first floor? I
Well,
can't tell. what you-
I want to say it's on the second floor.
And council, just be careful not to say names, just because it's.
I
that's okay.
do
That's okay.
apologize, I forgot, we are,
No, that's okay.
As
As long as you guys know what you're talking about, because I personally don't know, but.
I actually, yeah, but the escalator, right before the
yeah,
escalator.
it should be in both terminals.
Okay.
There's a place where you exit where there's a TSA agent sitting there,
Okay.
so there should be an adequate place for them to do.
Sure, okay. And you guys are communicating, I think, via an app, is that correct? Okay, so you can always say, okay, I'm flying, this is the airline, well, you're gonna be communicating the flight information anyway, and you can find each other, okay? And then, let me try to find you an evidentiary hearing date, because that will dictate how many more months, you know, obviously we have to be doing this. Let's see, so you said, did she give you an idea what part of July you'd be getting the report, or?
She gave me some dates, and I don't wanna speak for Dr. Bergquist, but I think if we tell her, you know, the constraints, that we might be able to get her to get it done like before, like right at the commencement of July, if
Okay.
not a little bit sooner.
So if we kind of give her a date certain,
Yes, and that's what she's really been waiting on, because I
Okay.
mean, she takes other work and then her goals kind of move and
Okay.
change.
so are you all anticipating a full day or a half day for the evidentiary?
I'm gonna have to say we'll leave it a full day, just given the fact we'll have that.
Just to be safe.
It's going to be more challenging to get you guys a full day probably, yeah.
Are there any half days
Or we
close
could do
together?
2 half days.
Perfect.
I know you'll be traveling in, so let me see if I can find one there like that. I'm just trying to find. You know what, we could actually, we could dark out for you guys a full day, because I don't have things set yet on it. August 8th, which is a Thursday, and we could give you guys from 9 o'clock on. if that happens to work.
I apologize. What date did you say?
It was Thursday, August 8th.
We're, both of us are, both councils on this side are available.
You're available, does that work for you?
Sure
Okay,
does.
so we'll just, if you want to go ahead and just write that out, so we'll do Thursday, August 8th, and we can just reserve the full day for you guys that way. And then Dad doesn't have to do extra travel.
Do we happen to know when the proposed school, the minor child would be starting at, when it starts? Because I know some states don't start till after Labor Day.
I see something.
Do you know when school starts there in Texas?
I believe, I'd have to verify, Your Honor, but I think it's August 12th,
Okay,
so.
No pressure.
we still need to get her enrolled, right? So, okay. And then, so you're proposing the full week, so we already addressed April, obviously. So we're good for April. And then what was the last day last day of visit would be the 25th, right?
Correct.
Returning on the 25th, so then we need to give Mom May time. I just want to be sure we have this all ironed out, so everyone leaves with a clear understanding what they'll be doing for these months here. So May, I know Mom has, the motion is set in May 14th, but you don't necessarily have to be here in person for that. So, Council, is there a week in May? Because she'll have her until April 25th, so does she want to go more towards the end-ish of May, or what does she want to do for her May?
She's saying the end.
Towards the end more? Let's see, we do have Memorial Day in that month. Do you want to try to kind of do it around then, or, yeah? So we could do it, you guys want to start it, and Dad, is it better for you to start it, do you feel like during the week or on the weekend for travel?
Your Honor, if
Do
you could do during the week, that would be helpful.
Sure.
Only because tickets we're finding is cheaper on Tuesday, Wednesday,
So Mom,
Thursday.
do you want to do, we could do, for example, May 23rd to May 30th, which would be Thursday to Thursday. Is that okay? And that, it will include that holiday then. So May 23rd to the 30th. And then let's give you some June dates. So we're going to kind of, do you want to kind of stay around the same part, council in June, like towards the endish, middle-ish, end of June? Because you're having May 23rd to May 30th.
So she's asking for your June dates.
Yeah. McLean suggests the end of the month because it's the child's birthday. So that way Mom can enjoy
Sure.
the celebration
When
with
is her
her.
birthday?
It's her birthday?
Sure. Do you guys, so you're okay, Dad, with her being with Mom then? So let's see. That's a Friday. Do you want to, so do you want to do like a Saturday to Saturday, but that doesn't really help you with your, her birthday just happens to be on a Friday.
Is there a way for it to
Or do
creep
you
in the
want to
next
do like
month?
the, what, I don't want, I think travel right around that
Oh,
is super expensive.
the third.
Well, would it be okay to propose that she stays there a little longer and then she
Sure.
can stay until her birthday? Mom has a birthday on. I hope it's okay to disclose that.
No, that's fine.
Um,
So you'd want her like there with Mom from like to,
I'm okay with that.
Or unless you want to meld the week from July into, that's the attorney in me. Can't help myself.
I don't know, you guys do whatever you want, but the proposal is, Mom, just so you know, the proposal that Dad just came up with was and he would probably retrieve her, so then she could also be here for your birthday. So that'd be a longer period of time.
That's a great one.
Is that okay? Okay. And then when did we set our thing for August, right? So we need to probably,
So it was June 27th to July 12th.
yes. And then, I'm sorry, when did we set our thing for August?
August 8th.
Right? So, do you guys want to put another one in there too, around the time? Because are you planning on coming in person for that,
Yeah, I can come in person.
for that one? So that might make sense.
And there also may be a need for Dr. Berquist to meet with Dad as well, so there
Sure.
may be some periods of, like, I mean, I'm not, obviously I can't predict that, but there may be some need for,
So the last date you have right now is July 12th, so then after that, where do you guys want to put it in?
Maybe the beginning of August.
You want to do like August 1st, and then your trial's the 8th, so like August 1st to August 9th, tentatively, and see what happens, obviously, August 1st. And then if she starts school out there, we're thinking it's gonna be right after that, right?
I'm sorry, Your
If she starts school, it may be right after that? Okay. Does that work for you guys on your end too? Yes? Okay. And then we'll be obviously back here for another time anyway for your motion, and then we can talk about how everything's going. Is there anything else you feel like we need to talk about today?
there's just one thing, and I hate, so there's a sealing order in this case, and
I'm sorry.
a sealing order.
Yeah,
And I did briefly address it in my counter motion, and I know that obviously there's the NECFR that requires everyone on the registered service list to
to
be,
be on there for the duration of time.
well, to be served with every,
Right.
to be served with the documents, and I obviously don't want to be in contradiction with Nevada rules or the sealing order, so I feel like it's put me in a place where everyone is filing things that is going to everyone on these lists, whom are not all attorneys or people are parties to this litigation.
There's a lot of people on the list.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's like a whole lot.
Yeah, so are we, I'm just kind of asking, like, obviously you don't necessarily have control over whether you can order it to be purged or whether we are just allowed to serve the actual parties and attorneys that are active on the case.
You know, we did, the case, I did order the clerk of court to unseal the case to the extent that, you know, our
Yes,
Nevada judges are able to see like what's coming up, obviously, because it was kind of super sealed, which was impermissible. I'm not sure, because are these just all people that had the case at one point, or who are all these?
Some of the people are former attorneys, and we have addressed that in our reply as to why they want to remain on the listserv.
Why do they want to remain on the listserv?
Because I believe one of them has a lien.
One of them emailed me and,
Well,
yeah, I guess there's litigation for attorney's lien as well as,
Right.
apparently according to him, that there's bar complaints and they have the right to monitor the case until it completes.
Well, they may have the right to see like what upcoming hearings are, but I don't think they have the right to see the substantive pleadings that are being filed when we have a minor child involved and people's lives involved. I don't think that's permissible.
yeah, because my thought process is that the register of actions is open, people can be aware of hearings, and if someone, a third-party attorney that has some kind of issue needs to make an appearance for whatever reason, which I don't think is going to be the case, but we are serving the actual contents of the pleadings
Correct.
to people who aren't actually involved in the case currently, and I think that violates the sealing order.
I agree with you on that, and I also think it's contrary to the minor child's best interest to have all of this out there for, I don't know what they're doing with it, hopefully they're doing nothing with it, but I don't want it out there.
I agree, I don't agree on that.
but if you can
Oh, no,
continue to serve
absolutely, the
him.
parties and the council,
The parties
yes,
and council
I'm
absolutely.
totally fine with that.
Need to be served. Council, do you mind like preparing an order and just, and put it in OIC and then we'll doctor it up as needed and send it to both of you and see what we can get to make it work, okay?
No problem,
Okay.
you can do that.
And then you have the joy of writing the other order for the
I'm
the
excited.
temporary relocation. If you want to write that and just be sure we have all those dates in there so everyone's
Sure.
clear. And just communicate with each other. Is she talking to mom during the week or what is she doing?
Not currently, your judge, or your honor, she has her every weekend.
Yes, because she won't be having her every weekend. So I want to be sure she's talking to mom, she's seeing mom, she's FaceTiming mom.
Could
So when
we do
mom's not,
talking parents, your honor, so that it's documented?
I don't know, I personally have never used Talking Parents, so I'm not exactly sure how it works. Can they do that on Talking Parents?
Yes,
or no?
it's my
Okay.
understanding that they
There's a
can.
beta version, I believe now, that does allow video
Okay.
calling, so that,
It's pretty cool.
Do you have to pay for it though, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is one of the apps that has a monthly subscription. I do not know if the call-in feature is in addition to the monthly
Yeah.
cost.
Is it additional or is it just part of the
I
subscription?
believe it's around $30 to $40 a month, I think, for calling on the video calls. But I think it would be helpful for the court because it documents it. So if there's ever an issue or an allegation raised, it can be accessed.
I don't know if it records the actual conversation.
It does.
It does,
It
yeah.
actually does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it would be helpful, your honor, to
For
address
both
any
parties.
allegation.
Oh. I hope, at some point, I would hope the relationship is normalized to the extent that you aren't worried about the court so much, you're more worried about your daughter, but, counsel, if you are both in agreement with it and your clients are in agreement with it, that's perfectly fine. I just want to be sure that mom, since she's not gonna have her right here in town, obviously it's gonna be a different thing for her and a different thing for your daughter. So I do want her to be able to have that, FaceTime, with her. And counsel, what would you propose for that for the weeks that she's with dad?
Well, at first, and I'm not to compare cases, but I have another case where all the children are being recorded on video calls, and it has caused an ugly mess of things where now we have, when the trial comes, we're like, look at what happened in this little corner. And I don't think there's been any allegations that either party is having inappropriate conversations with the child. So I'm a little uncomfortable moving from that to having all the conversations
I would
recorded.
tend to agree with that. I mean, I want her interaction to be as normal as possible. And I don't want you to be feeling like, oh, I'm gonna show this to the judge because I don't want to see it, I just want everyone to be acting like they're supposed to with their child and act like a parent.
And like Skype
So-
does logs of like if a call was missed or someone called and it wasn't answered. I think tend to think like Skype or I don't know if you have both of Apple or the phones, but those should lead to appropriate logs in the event that
Just
there's
one of the
ever-
regular
In which
apps, I think would be fine. Let's not go through talking parents for it.
Like the Google
I feel
Call.
the highlight, Your
Google
Honor, maybe that's
telephone
me being
meetings and
selfish
things.
for evidentiary purposes. I
Yeah,
have
let's-
another case where it's become very useful, so.
Let's just hopefully
I
not have to go
understand.
down that path. So, but in terms of how many times a week would she like it when, well,
How many times? Three?
she's with dad?
3 times a week?
3 times, sure. And you probably don't know your schedule there too much yet, but, and in addition, who is gonna take care of her while you're working? Your wife or?
So my job, I work from home, that's what I do as a designer, but then when I, on appointments, it's-
She works.
So both of you are home and
yes,
still learning?
she works from home too.
Okay, so we have remote work job that we need to relocate for. That's an interesting fact.
Do you have to be there in person?
Like-
I have to
Occasionally-
head to yards and meet with clients in
Yeah.
Austin, and there's no prospects here, there's no leads to be
So
able
you
to.
go meet with the
Yeah.
people in person and design the pool?
Yeah.
Correct.
So you're doing,
And in homes that are building swimming pools here, it's all included, so
so 3 times a week, and is there certain days that are better for your client?
Do you like a certain, like, one weekend day, twice during the week, like Monday, Wednesday, Saturday? Right.
Yeah, sure.
And
Monday, Wednesday, Saturday?
And then, I hate with children of certain ages to say like, oh, it has to be,
Yeah.
I mean, I would like her to be able to talk as long as she wants to, but it doesn't need to be like a requirement that she can stay on the phone 3
Yeah.
hours. I have a really hard
And
time.
just however long she wants to do it, and just encourage her to, chat with mom, let her know how she's doing, just keep it like normal. And if she wants to do 5 minutes, that's fine, if she wants to do 50 minutes, that's fine, obviously, right? So she said Monday, I think you guys said Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, is that what you said?
And then in the evening time, like an evening, like,
Maybe before bedtime?
What time does she go to bed?
her bedtime right now is 8 o'clock.
So like,
So there it'll be 2 hours ahead here.
oh, that's
It'll-
right.
So 8 o'clock there would be, I think, 6 o'clock here.
Oh,
you do that?
Yeah.
6 p.m. right?
What,
Is it?
mom, are you,
Well, that's about the bedtime, that's the concern.
I forgot about the time change, so the time difference between the two places. So like 4 o'clock, there would be,
2 o'clock here.
Yeah.
oh, okay, so what time do you propose?
Like, when I did in my letter as well as the initial motion, I was thinking 8 o'clock or no, 7 o'clock, because that puts her right after she gets out of work. It'd be about 5 o'clock, and you'd have to verify, but I think she gets off around 4:30. Oh, yeah, right now she's not working. And
So council, we're saying 5 o'clock this time just because of the 2 hours difference, because they're in central time, I suppose, right? Central time.
But my client's saying that unfortunately that sometimes she has to work till 6 or 6:30, it's not common.
It's not common, but like if I have like.
If she-
professional
I
development,
guess I would ask that if she has to stay late, that it could
I don't miss
accommodate
my
her
call.
on additional day. I would hope that they could work together.
Oh, sure.
How long is she on leave for? She's on leave though since January,
When are you gonna go back? Oh, in April, at the end of April.
at the end of April.
My medical.
But yeah, if that
insurance, like,
happens, just communicate, because you guys communicate through the app, correct? Just communicate with each other and then give her a different day. If she's stuck at work, can't make it that day. Mom, just let him know, because I want your daughter to be able to be like, oh yeah, this is the day I'm talking to mom, so she knows, so she's not disappointed. So let him know as far as that as you can if you're stuck at work, and then he'll just give you a different day. Okay, so we're saying 5 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
Anything else you guys
Monday,
can do?
Wednesday, Saturday, or Friday?
Oh, sorry, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, sorry.
Oh, Saturday. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
So I think we addressed everything, if you don't mind doing that order, and then, Ms. Flemming, if you don't mind doing the order regarding all these people who are getting the information, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll do. Thank you.
Great, thank you.